Hey YouTube, this is Russian Torts here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about hibernating your Russian tortoise. Now, as some of you may know, I don't actually hibernate my tortoise, and that is for two reasons. One, I don't have a room where I can keep the temperature controlled to about 4 degrees, which is the temperature tortoises need to have in the winter, and I don't have to hibernate in the winter, and I don't have a room anywhere in my house where I can keep that temperature stable. While I do have a fridge where you can keep the temperature stable, it's for food and there isn't enough space in there to put a box inside with a tortoise. So those are two reasons that I don't hibernate my tortoise. The thing is, you don't need to hibernate your tortoise. It is healthier and it's better for the tortoise, but if you don't have the right facility to hibernate your tortoise, if you don't have a space that's big enough that you can keep controlled at 4 degrees Celsius, it's actually safer not to hibernate your tortoise, because if you try to put your tortoise in your cellar and just try to keep the temperature around the same, that might actually harm the tortoise, because if it gets too cold, your tortoise could die. If it gets too warm, your tortoise can wake up prematurely, and that's not beneficial to the health either. So what I just do with my tortoise is, around October, so she did this last month, she goes into her hut and just doesn't come out for about a month, and she just sits there and sleeps, and I just leave the lights out during that period and let her rest. So that's her replacement for hibernation. So she just goes into her hut like this, but she digs herself in the bit of substrate that there is, and she just rests there. So that's what my tortoise does to replace hibernation, because like I said before, it's safer to not let your tortoise hibernate if you don't have the space, because they do need a fairly large box to hibernate. About half the size of her cage right now will be a good sized box. You need to fill that up almost to the top with leaf litter and earth. Put a lid on the top and keep the substrate moist, aerate it every day. But if you don't have the time, space, or the right room with the correct temperature to do that, it's way safer to just let your tortoise not hibernate. Just leave it in its cage. When it decides to take a break and it's hot for a long period of time, let's say it doesn't come out for 2 days, you don't need to check on your tortoise, it's fine. Just turn off all the heating elements in its cage, like the lights, and I have a heat mat in here, and let the tortoise be. It will come out by its own about a month or so later. I still provide food every day. I toss a lettuce leaf in there, just because in case my tortoise does come out and I'm not there, I want her to have food to eat. But she did this last month. She's a lot more active right now, and I'm hoping for next year that I can put a hut on there so she can actually properly dig herself in up there. And that's pretty much what I do instead of hibernation. Like I said, I let her sleep in her hut. It's a lot safer. The only reason if you really need to hibernate tortoises is if you want to breed them. You want to simulate nature as much as possible, and part of that is the winter sleep, and then you need to simulate spring. So unless you want to breed them, I really wouldn't hibernate them. Unless, of course, if you have the space, that's great, it's healthier for the tortoise, but if you don't try, because it might end up failure with your tortoise dead, and you really don't want that. I have not hibernated my tortoise for 5 years, for example, and she's doing fine. She's grown to a full size. Her shell is healthy, her carcass, her shell is healthy, her skin looks good, everything's fine really. So that just shows you that tortoises will stay healthy if you don't hibernate them. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try making more tortoise videos in the future. It's just that, like I said, she has been sleeping for quite a while, so I couldn't make any videos then, and I'm running out of ideas. So it'd be really great if you guys could provide me with some ideas on what videos to make. Thank you for watching again. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below.